Are we getting in yet? I'm showing... Thanks, Kaylee. Can you open up my FRQ back up, though? I don't know. Can you hear me, Kaylee? Okay. Can you see? Oh, I need to open this. Okay. Tell me if you can see my screen. I minimized everything. I mean, I exited out of everything. It was so bad. And so now I'm struggling a little bit. Live now. Okay. Okay, good. I've got Ella. Okay, good. You see the FRQ. Okay, good. So, right out of the gate, as soon as you open this up, my question to you is, do you remember us going over chromatograms? Do I need to type that? No, nobody remembers chromatograms. We've not done them. Okay, okay. So let's talk about a chromatogram then. That would be very beneficial. But I know how to read one. Good. Is it just a graph on climate? No. Well, yes, but no. So the first thing that jumps out at you is you've got, we've got y to the sky. So we know our x-axis, but you've got two y-axes. And so that makes it less friendly to read. It's really not... it's really not as bad as it appears, but it does make you a little bit crazy. So we have our line here, right? And I'm looking, and we have our bars. So our bars are our temperature, our line is precipitation. I'm going to say yes to that. Does that feel right? Okay. So as we're looking at, so you can look at mean monthly precipitation and mean monthly temperature. So when I'm looking at January, we can tell that the temperature was about 5 degrees and that we didn't have any precipitation. So it's a way for us, I said it backwards, I'm sorry. But I'm saying it right now. I better put my glasses on, y'all. Lord, Granny's got to care. Oh, and they're on my head. I could not feel more cool if I tried. Okay, so temperature, precipitation. It's in the paragraph at the top. Line is the temperature. Line, it is. Okay, because I was wondering where the key was. Temperature shown with a line and is the bar. Okay, so precipitation is the bar, line is the temperature. Thank you guys. It takes a tribe. And so that's just the data that you're gathering. This is called a chromatogram, and it's just combining temperature and precipitation. And usually, I love that Max, of course, read the. Kaylee's like, no. Oh, that's sweet. So usually they have a key here for you to say which one, because there's not, I don't think there's a standard. This is always this and this is always this. So you can tell what the temperature is and the precipitation is at the same time. So when you open up and you're looking at this, I typically encourage everybody to take a breath, because they don't all look like this, right? Some have different peaks and valleys at different times, but you'll notice that this is following the same as the temperature is increasing, precipitation is also increasing. Another thing that for whatever reason, boggles kids a little bit is that January and then December. So if you could in your head, fold that around. So at the end of December, that's going to start again at another January, yes? So your first question was just identify the month with the least amount of rainfall, and that was January. Oh, there you go. Well, and either way, gosh, that's the scary thing about that one. Or maybe the good thing is that they're both the smallest, but you'll see the lines right here. So that one is January. And then number 2 says, identify the maximum mean monthly temperature in this temperate grassland. So the maximum mean monthly temperature. So we go here, right? And I'm looking. Okay, everybody still seems to be with me. So we're about right here, and your rubric is accepting between 27 and 28 degrees Celsius. So don't, I wouldn't get fancy with that. I feel like everybody that I've graded so far, which is pretty much just Max and Kaylee, both said 27, and that's good. And then for the third one, they wanted you to, a chromatogram for a tropical grassland savanna would look different if it were describing a temperate grassland. So describe one difference in the patterns or trends in the temperature data in a tropical grassland compared to a temperate grassland. So right here, this is in chapter 7, which we have skipped right over, for you to be able to just cognitively differentiate between what is it like in a tropical grassland versus a temperate grassland. And in order to get that point, you needed to have said that you're going to see an increase in temperature in the tropical grassland instead of the temperate. And you could have done either mean or overall. But the big idea was that you understood that it's hotter there. Okay, I'm going to, okay, good. Nobody's, oh, sorry. Okay, so for B, several factors contribute to the maintenance of the grassland ecosystem. Describe one way that grazing animals, such as bison or cattle, help maintain the grassland ecosystems. And I'm trying to remember. I feel like it was on my Mac. Give me just a second. Here we go. So the rubric is giving you, come on. Oh, that's not that rubric. Okay. The rubric gave you options for for getting the points. One of them, the one that Max said, was that the herding animals could have contribute to fertilizer, which is absolutely right. They emphasized the describing how this would happen. And then I got a little tickled because I thought about, let me see. I will open Braden Dent and see. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. I want to score him. So, like, then I got tickled because I got to think about Max, and I got to thinking about him talking about how the poop comes out the animal and all of that. And that's That's not what they're talking about. But it says the response must describe, not just identify, one way grazing animals help to maintain grassland ecosystems. So, animals compact the soil with their hooves. So we talked about overgrazing. So I would want you to use that vocab word, overgrazing. Animal waste provides nutrients for the soil and the plant. And if you were to throw in there nitrogen cycle, even better. Animals open new areas for seeds to grow by moving over areas and disrupting the grasses. So, a couple of things on that one. You could talk about how the animals eat the seeds, they digest the seeds, and then they poop them out in new areas, and it's kind of like a little poop bomb, and they and then it can, it's kind of like got its own fertilizer there. Or you could talk about the birds, how the birds eat them and poop them, and they fly over different areas, as well as this is also talking about like just moving through, right? And some of that grass, right, the pollinated seeds, if you will, spores, if you will, kind of move with the animals. So you've got options there. Or they just have animals spread seeds to new areas, which I feel like we've talked about a lot. And I'm not, so if that was your answer for that one, you got 1 point. All right, so for part B, explain how seasonal fires benefit grassland ecosystems. Remember we talked about the coniferous cones in Yellowstone and how the licking of the flames caused the cones to open up and, dependent upon fire. So I immediately thought back to that lecture when I read seasonal fires. Now, the problem is you don't have coniferous trees in grasslands. So you don't want to write about a plant that isn't there, but you already have something in your arsenal. You've got that. So they talk about, I think Max talked about the nitrogen cycle, how when you burn it, the dead and decaying, and it enhances the nitrogen cycle. Perfect. They have decaying dead plant matter burns and turns to ash, which releases nutrients into usable form. They also have cleared areas receive more sunlight, which stimulates dormant plants to sprout and to grow. And that was kind of in our video with the coniferous trees, right? So it took out the treetops. And so then the little guys could get the sunlight that they weren't getting before. Trees and shrubs are killed off, opening areas for the grasses, which is secondary succession, or heat from the fires promote germination from seeds in seed banks. I don't know what they're talking about with seed banks, but I would be careful with that coniferous because I don't feel like, do I need to? Yeah, okay, I'm moving this here. Okay, let's go on to C. Humans often convert grasslands into farmlands to grow crops. Yes. Describe why the conversion of temperate grasslands, such as the central United States, into agricultural areas can be an environmental problem. So, for us, and I love that they picked central United States, right? Areas of diverse grasses and shrubs are replaced by monoculture. So, if you went straight to, I see Miss Skimehorn going, biodiversity, right? So if you cut the grasslands out and you replace it with a monoculture, there's another one of your vocab words. That's fantastic, right? You're lowering biodiversity. You could edge into food webs, food chains, impacts, that chain reaction that it can have. Removal of ground cover can lead to desertification and erosion. We're just in the middle of all of that exciting planting and plowing conversations that we've been having. Need for irrigation, which is going to deplete the groundwater and the aquifers, or irrigating the soil can lead to salinization. So all of those you had to just pick one of those. You don't have to have all of those. So it says, select a point value 1 to view scoring criteria, and then 2 to score the response. The response provides one of the following descriptions of why conversions of grasslands. Okay, so that's it. So all you had to do is just give me one, and you got that point. Let's see. Oh, good. Braden, he said loss of biodiversity. Good boy. Oh my gosh, he said monoculture. Yay. That is fantastic. Oh my gosh. And then he added that with monoculture comes the fear of a disease being able to wipe out your entire field. Oh, this is awesome. And again, oh, and they don't say to just give one reason. So he did give another. Farmers bring cows into agricultural areas. They release methane into the atmosphere. Brayden, Dent, you did so well on that. That was very nice. Very good. So this is your FRQ. How do I know you're done with it? I have to open it up and look at it. How will you know how you did? You won't until we do this. So I will do my best to go through and look. But, I mean, guys, that's going to be a crazy lot of stuff right there. So, good news, bad news. Good news, new microphone. How about that? So this is my new $100 microphone. The little guy at Best Buy was like, I hope they give you a tax rebate. And I thought, well, I've spent more on less for these kids. So I hope this is good. Hope this is what you guys wanted. Oh, I got off of your all's stomp holes for needs to grow. Okay. So, okay. That's what I said. Good. Skimmy, do you have the grades in AP board? I'm going to say no to that. Braden, Dan, you are welcome. I miss you. I still have those pictures of you where you're like hiding from the spider. I looked at them just the other night. Oh, thanks, Harry. I appreciate you like the new mic. So I have my head in my ears. And, oh, Sean, I wondered about you this morning. How are you? I don't know who Brad is, but so I can hear myself. So now I'm not screaming anymore, and hopefully I can hear what you guys hear. So I'm going to sign off for today, and this is all I have for you guys for today. Tomorrow, I'm going to post the vocab quiz, which I just expect to do good things for you all, and I'm going to finish the rest of the day putting in vocab quiz 12, 1, 12, 2. I'm so sorry. I did not know that I did not put those in before the pandemic set in, and now everything is crazy. So I'm going to get those in. I'm going to sit down and look at some of these AP answers. You don't get a score. I mean, you get a score, but you don't get a score. And good. I'm glad you are wonderful. Oh, Brad is you. Okay. Oh, duh. So your score won't affect you, right? Like your score on AP Central won't. At this point, we're not gonna add to the fire. AP freshmen have, pretty tight, bone corridors as it is. Like I don't need to add more fuel to the fire. So with that, I will say adieu, and I will see you all tomorrow at 11 for 12-3.